Osagie couldn't understand how his brother's worthless piece of land remained green while his own turned barren. So he did the unthinkable, believing the land would finally be his. If only he knew. That night, Osagie could not sleep. He kept thinking about Omoregie's successful farm and the land he had once considered worthless. By morning, greed had taken control. He had made a terrible decision. For the next few days, Osagie stopped arguing with Omoregie. Instead, he acted as if he wanted peace. One afternoon, he approached his brother.
My brother, I don't want us to fight anymore. Neither do I. Then let us make peace. Come to my house tomorrow evening. We will eat together, like when we were children, all right?
When he told Efe, she looked worried.
Please, be careful. I don't trust this sudden change.
He is my brother.
Then promise me you will be careful.
I promise.
The following evening, Omoregie went to Osagie's house. They ate, drank palm wine, and laughed like old times. Then Osagie said,
Brother, I am sorry for letting the land come between us. It is forgotten.
They shook hands and continued eating. Slowly, Omoregie's suspicion disappeared. He believed his brother had truly changed. He did not know the peace was only a strategy. Several days later, Osagie approached Omoregie. Come with me, I want to show you something. Omoregie followed him to a high cliff overlooking a deep valley. Why did you bring me here? We need to talk about the land. We have already settled this. No, we haven't. Osagie's face hardened. You refused to give me the land. Because it belongs to me. You should have given it to me. Omoregie shook his head. You chose your land, Osagie. Those words pushed Osagie beyond reason. He grabbed his brother. Brother! Omoregie struggled, but Osagie shoved him toward the edge. Osagie! Then, with one final push, Omoregie disappeared over the cliff. Osagie stared into the valley. There was no movement. He had done it. He returned to the village as though nothing had happened. When Obosa saw him, she asked, It is done? Osagie nodded. Meanwhile, Efe waited for Omoregie to return. He never did. The next morning, she searched the farm and asked around the village, but nobody had seen him. She went to the elders and a search party was organized. They searched the farms, forest, river, and the cliffs beyond the village. But they found nothing. Nobody. No evidence. After several days, the search was abandoned. The village could only conclude that Omoregie had disappeared. Efe was devastated, and Osagie played the grieving brother perfectly. Nobody suspected him. Nobody knew that he had been the last person to see Omoregie alive. That night, Osagie looked toward his brother's farm and smiled. Finally, he believed he had won. He had no idea that Omoregie was still alive, and he certainly didn't know that the land he had nearly destroyed his family to possess was hiding a secret buried there for generations. 3 days after Omoregie disappeared, Osagie went to the village elders. My brother is gone, he said. I will take responsibility for his farm until we know what happened. The elders agreed. Within a week, Osagie took control of the farm. At first, everything looked perfect, but the following morning, the crops began to wither. Within days, the once thriving farm was drying up. Osagie tried everything: water, fertilizer, even experienced farmers. Nothing worked. The villagers began whispering. Osagie stared at the dying crops in disbelief. The farm had flourished under Omoregie, but under him, it was dying. He had no idea why. Far away from the village, Omoregie opened his eyes inside a hidden cave beneath the cliff. He was badly injured and could barely move. An elderly woman appeared with water. Drink. After drinking, Omoregie asked,
Who are
Who are you?
Someone who found you before it was too late.
She told him his family believed he was dead. My wife. She is grieving. Omoregie lowered his eyes. Why did you save me? Because you were not meant to die there. Then she revealed something that caught his attention. Your land has a history. What history? Something has been hidden beneath your father's land for generations. Omoregie stared at her. What? The woman smiled. Your brother sees fertile soil. You will discover what lies beneath it. Days turned into weeks. The old woman cared for Omoregie inside the cave. She gave him herbs for his wounds. She brought him food. Slowly, his strength returned. One evening, Omoregie sat outside the cave looking at the setting sun. The old woman joined him.
You are ready
For what?
to go home.
Omoregie stood.
Will my wife believe I am alive?
She will.
What about my brother?
Do not return with hatred in your heart.
That is difficult.
I know.
He tried to take my life.
And yet you are alive.
You saved me.
The old woman smiled. I only found you. The land is what protected you. Omoregie frowned. What do you mean? The woman looked toward the cave entrance. Long before your father inherited that land, your ancestors hid something precious beneath the earth. During a time of war, they buried their wealth there to keep it from being stolen. Treasure? The woman nodded. Something valuable enough to change the life of whoever finds it. Omoregie's eyes widened. Then why didn't my father know? Because the knowledge was lost through the generations. She paused. But the land remembered. Omoregie thought about his farm. Is that why my land remained fertile during the drought? Yes. Your brother looked at the size of the land and thought he had won. She paused. But he did not understand that the true value of the land was never in its size. Omoregie remained silent. The woman looked directly into his eyes. When you return, do not seek revenge, because what he took was never his true blessing. Omoregie lowered his eyes. The woman continued. When the time comes, you will discover what your land has been hiding. Omoregie looked up. What is beneath it? The old woman smiled. You will see for yourself. She paused. But remember this. Wealth is only a blessing when it does not control your heart. The next morning, Omoregie left the cave. For the first time in weeks, he walked toward home. It was late afternoon when a young boy ran into the village shouting, "People, people!" The villagers turned. What happened? There is a man coming. Who? The boy pointed toward the village path. He looks like Omoregie. Everyone laughed nervously. Omoregie is dead. I saw him. The boy shook his head. I know what I saw. People began to walk toward the road. Then the laughter stopped. A man was walking slowly toward them. His clothes were torn. His face was thinner. There were scars on his arms and dust covering his feet. But there was no mistaking him. It was Omoregie. Efe was standing among the crowd. The moment she saw him, the basket in her hands fell to the ground. Omoregie. He stopped. Efe. She ran toward him. She threw herself into his arms. For several moments, neither of them could speak. Then Efe began to cry. I thought you were dead. Omoregie held her tightly. I am alive. People gathered around them. Some were crying, others were whispering. How did he survive? Where has he been? Who saved him? Within minutes, the entire village square was filled with people. Osagie heard the commotion from his compound. What is happening? A man ran toward him. Osagie? What? Your brother has returned. Osagie's face went pale. What did you say? Omoregie is alive. Osagie dropped the hoe in his hand. For a moment, he could not move. Then he slowly walked toward the village square. And there he was, his younger brother, alive, standing beside Efe. Omoregie looked at him. Their eyes met. Osagie's heart began pounding. He expected anger. He expected hatred. He expected Omoregie to point at him and tell everyone the truth. Instead, Omoregie simply said, Brother. Osagie could barely answer. Omoregie? The elders gathered around them. We need to know what happened. Omoregie nodded. I will tell you. The village fell silent as Omoregie stood before the elders. I did not fall from that cliff. My brother pushed me. The crowd erupted, but Omoregie raised his hand. Leave him. He tried to kill you, someone shouted. I know. He took your land. I know. Then why protect him? Omoregie looked at Osagie. Because I will not allow what he did to turn me into him. The elders questioned Osagie. With nowhere left to hide, he finally confessed. Yes, I pushed him. The villagers demanded punishment, but Omoregie stopped them. I do not want my brother killed. Then he pointed toward the two farms. When our father divided the land, Osagie chose the larger portion. Now it is barren, while my smaller land remains green. He turned to Osagie. Choose again. Take the larger land or take the smaller one, but whichever you choose, swear that you will never fight me over the other. Osagie stared at the bigger farm, then at Omoregie's small land. I choose the bigger land. Omoregie nodded. Then it is settled. The elders made Osagie swear before the entire village never to claim Omoregie's land or harm his brother again. At last, the land dispute was over. But neither brother knew that the greatest secret of all was still waiting beneath the soil. That night, Omoregie sat outside his home with Efe. The village was quiet. There is something you haven't told me, Efe said. Omoregie looked at her. You're right. He told her about the mysterious woman, the hidden cave, and what she had revealed about their father's land. Efe listened carefully. So, there is really something beneath the land? Yes. What? I don't know. Then how will you find it? Omoregie remembered the woman's words. You will discover what lies beneath it. We'll find out, he said. At dawn, Omoregie returned to the smaller farm with Efe. He stopped near an old tree, the place the guardian had described. He picked up a shovel and began digging. After several minutes, clang! The shovel struck something hard. Omoregie froze. He cleared the soil with his hands. Something ancient was buried beneath the earth. They dug faster. Slowly, an old wooden chest emerged. Its wood was dark with age, and its metal lock was almost completely rusted away. Efe stared at it. What is inside? Omoregie broke the lock and lifted the lid. They both froze. Inside were gold coins, precious stones, ancient jewelry, bundles of old currency, and several mysterious objects wrapped in faded cloth. Efe covered her mouth. Omoregie? He stared at the treasure in disbelief. This has been here for generations. Then his father's words returned to him. The size of a man's inheritance does not always reveal its value. Omoregie slowly smiled. His father had been right. The land Osagie had chosen because it was bigger had never been the most valuable, and the land everyone once considered ordinary had been hiding a fortune all along. Omoregie could have kept the treasure for himself, but he remembered the guardian's warning. Wealth is only a blessing when it does not control your heart. He and Ife used it to help the village, repairing the well, supporting struggling farmers, building a school, and helping families affected by the drought. Meanwhile, Osagie's farm remained barren. One evening, Osagie came to Omoregie. "I am sorry," he said. "Greed blinded me. I almost destroyed my own brother because I wanted what you had." Omoregie looked at him. "I forgave you the day I chose not to let hatred change who I am." The brothers embraced. For the first time since their father's death, there was no land between them. Years later, the story of the two brothers became a lesson passed from one generation to another. The larger land had become worthless in the hands of a greedy man. The smaller land had brought unimaginable blessings to a grateful one. And the elders always reminded the children, never judge the value of an inheritance by its appearance. If this story touched your heart, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs to hear this lesson. And remember to subscribe to African Stories That Touch for more powerful African stories with lessons that stay with you.